one of my very favourite John Frankenheimer films, and one of his lesser seen films, 99 and 44/100% Dead. What a convoluted title. Apparently it's referencing some, I don't recall, like some deodorant commercial that was around in 1974 in the United States. I don't know. Obviously a reference I would not get, and frankly probably most people wouldn't even remember unless they were, they'd been cryogenically frozen since 1974, perhaps. Now, 99/44/100% Dead, it's a confusing title. I've just gotten it wrong again there, I think. It's the kind of film which feels like it would have been a prototype for Guy Ritchie's work in the late 90s and early 2000s, except I don't suspect anyone saw this movie at the time. Maybe they did, but it's such an idiosyncratic and unusual production, like one of these satirical, kind of sarcastic, like, spy/hitman satirical comic books, but in a film form, and it's taking a very stylized, unreal panel, like it's almost like one of the Seijun Suzuki Yakuza films. There's not much to compare this to in the English-speaking world at the time, off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a few things, maybe some of the bizarre, it's a more digestible mainstream take on some of the bizarro, campy, Warhol-adjacent stuff of the later 60s. Frankenheimer has used the phrase pop art in reference to what the film was going for. He considers this film an artistic failure, or considered apparently, but I think it's a peculiarly executed, kind of flashy crime film of the early 70s. It's not really about logic so much as it's about sensory and just set pieces and just pure style. And it's not as though it's one of the most technically impressive pieces of filmmaking, although it's one of the most fluidly satiating. It's a very smooth sequence of edits. It's really sharp. Again, like, you got to think of it in terms of, like, people say this about that Warren Beatty, Dick Tracy thing. Maybe Warren Beatty saw this picture. It feels ahead of its time, except I don't think anyone saw it, so no one could have been influenced by it. I wouldn't expect anyway. And I'm not sure if there are more films around 99 and 44/100% Dead release date that I'm not considering right now. Maybe I haven't seen. Maybe they're even more obscure than this one. I don't know. John Frankenheimer having the director's credit is how I came across this film, and probably how anyone else would come across this film otherwise. If it were directed by someone else, I mean, it probably wouldn't be as good, first of all, but you'd have to be looking through the films of Richard Harris, say. Would you watch Golden Rendezvous if it didn't have Freddie Francis in an uncredited co-director's role? Probably not. Is it Golden Rendezvous? Well, what's that film with Richard Harris? I think it's Juggernaut by Richard Lester, excuse me. But Golden Rendezvous is another film about a boat, I believe. Anyway, speaking of Richard Harris, Orca. Good movie. Yeah, why not? Orca. Believe me, if this channel wouldn't get struck down, I'd upload 99 and 44/100% Dead for you all to view. Even if this film doesn't work in some ways, that it's attempting to be, something/anything, or it isn't quite anything in particular at all, maybe it could be considered a failure, but I wanted to succeed so badly at something, and the fact that I wanted to succeed so badly is a testament to some sort of positive energy which is emanating from it. And maybe that's why I'm thinking of Guy Ritchie, because Revolver comes to mind, doesn't it? When those wishful thinking of a genius behind the production. You'll probably never see this film. I hope you do. God bless you see it tomorrow. But in any case, find a way, if you could. I want this to be seen by more people, and I want to be sure that I'm not crazy, or let's just find out something. We need some sort of clarity on the issue. Watch the film. If it's rubbish, I'm crazy. And if there's something more to it, there's some hope for me. Maybe that's wishful thinking too. Damn it. 99 and 44/100% dead. What's that the kids used to say? Oh yeah, out of sight. It's really out of sight.